Hello student. Next damping we're going to discuss, that is Coulomb damping. So various types of damping. Generally there are four types of damping. Viscous damping, we already discussed viscous damping. Second one is the Coulomb damping or dry friction damping. Third one is the structural damping, and last one is the hysteresis damping. So first two category we will discuss as per our academic is concerned. So viscous damping, so discussion already done. So second damping is Coulomb damping. So student, Coulomb damping also called as dry friction damping. So dry friction damping. Simple example, let the block having mass m, so which slides over a surface. Suppose it moves in a rightward direction, so having mass m, so mg vertically downward, student. So I am analyzing the various forces, okay, as per theory of friction. So student, let Rn is the normal reaction, let mu is the coefficient of friction between block and surface. So student, for rightward movement or for rightward movement of body, the frictional force will act in a opposite direction. Let F or Fr is mu Rn. So as force of friction leftward, that is force of friction always opposite to the motion. Now this analysis is required. Suppose same system I have considered with spring. So spring mass system, mass is moving, so mass is sliding over a surface, dry surface. So let I will assume mass has a rightward movement having velocity, let x dot. So mass has a rightward movement. So force of friction, let F is the force of friction. So student, force of friction will act opposite to the motion, that is in leftward direction. So simple equation of motion I will write down like this: mx double dot inertia force, so kx spring force. Now frictional force either added F is equal to 0. Now spring force, student, spring force, that is kx along the inertia force, that is mx double dot. Now student, this F is called as damping force. So damping force due to Coulomb damping, you can say that F is the damping force. Now second case of movement of body, let this body is moving in a leftward direction. So in leftward direction, let x dot is the velocity. So kx along the motion, F opposite to the motion, F is the frictional force. So equation of motion will be like this: mx double dot plus kx student minus F is equal to 0. Now student, so variation of displacement, so variation of displacement with respect to time as per Coulomb damping is concerned. So simple variation, student, I have plotted on this graph, that is x versus t. Just think about it, variation just for single cycle I have plotted, one cycle only I have considered. So this graph we'll discuss in detail, student. So variation of displacement versus time as per Coulomb damping is concerned. So that is damping force F is induced due to the dry friction damping. Now student, so variation of x versus t I have plotted for single cycle. So let initially x is x0, that is when t is equal to 0, corresponding displacement x is x0. So let's student, let complete cycle having time period let 4 pi by w. Pi by omega, that is complete cycle let theta is 360 degree. Okay, so half cycle theta 2 pi, that is 180 degree. This is pi, so corresponding time period let pi by w. So 2 pi by w. So here time period 3 pi by w. So time period in quarter cycle pi by w, in half cycle 2 by w, student. In quarter cycle 2 pi by w, in half cycle 2 pi by w. Detailed analysis I am not doing. Okay, so as per time constraint and the weightage for this content, that is Coulomb damping. One problem or differentiation between Coulomb damping or discussion of Coulomb damping or analysis of Coulomb damping. That's it. So detailed graph. So various concluding points. If you want to do the detailed analysis, just use any standard reference book. Okay. So only I am doing the analysis for only single cycle. So for 3/4 cycle, student, 3 pi by w is the time period. So for complete cycle 4 by w is the time period. So student, so as per investigation, so amplitude decay. So initially amplitude, student, initially what is the amplitude when t is equal to 0, x0. So amplitude decay in first quarter will be x0. So amplitude will be decremented, okay, as cycle proceeds. That's it, student. So x0 minus 2f by k. So then here amplitude x2 will be let x0 minus 4f by k. and so on. Sorry student, one complete cycle. Here 2 cycle I am considered. 2 pi by w, this is half cycle. So x0 by x0 minus 2f k. Just make one changes in my statement. Okay, I have said I have considered one cycle. Here student, 2 cycles we have considered. Okay, so half cycle, so time period pi by w. Okay, full complete cycle, time period 2 pi w. Okay, then 1.5 cycle 3 pi by w, so 2 cycle 4 by w. So student, so in half cycle, decay in the amplitude x0 minus 2f by k. Student, 2f by k. So in half cycle, how much amplitude is decay? That is decrement by 2f by k. So amplitude decay by 2f by k. So initially amplitude x0. After execution of half cycle, what will be the new amplitude? Let after 1/2 cycle. So 1/2, that is amplitude after 1/2 cycle, x1 by 2 will be x0 initial amplitude minus 2f by k. So 2f by k is the decrement for half cycle. So for quarter cycle, decrement will be f by k. Student, right? It is decrement will be f by k. That is for quarter cycle. Now student, so x0 minus 4k, that is 2f by k is the decrement in half cycle. So in full cycle, decrement will be minus 4f by k. So in this cycle, decrement will be x0 minus 6f by k, and after 2 cycle, decrement will be x0 minus 8f by k. Right? It is student. So student, in every quarter, that is, I will write down, in every quarter, as per Coulomb damping is concerned, decrement will be f by k. So if initially x0 is the amplitude, then new amplitude will be x0 minus f by k after 1/4 cycle. So after 1/2 cycle, x0 minus 2f by k. So 2f by k after half cycle. Similarly, 3/4 cycle 3f by k. For complete cycle, it will be 4f by k. So amplitude, the decay in amplitude will be x0 4f by k. So for 3/4 cycle, student, so 3f by k. So you must have to x0 minus 3f by k will be the amplitude after 3/4 cycle. So only remember, okay, in quarter cycle, decay in the amplitude f by k. So this decay in the amplitude, student, is in arithmetic progression. So the difference between viscous damping and Coulomb damping will discuss. Okay, now So student, at viscous damping, Coulomb damping. So student, just revise the various differentiating point as far viscous damping and Coulomb damping is concerned. So first differentiating point, I can say that the damping force. Let Fd is the damping force. So Fd is Cx dot as per viscous damping is concerned. So I can say that so damping force is directly proportional to the velocity of damper. So here damping force is constant, student. That is F is equal to, we already know F is equal to mu n. So mu coefficient of friction, n is the normal reaction. So F is constant. So damping force varying with respect to time, F is constant with respect to time. So second differentiating point, student. So motion, as per motion is concerned, motion may be periodic, student. Periodic or aperiodic or non-periodic. In Coulomb damping, motion always periodic. Motion always periodic as per Coulomb damping is concerned. Motion of vibrating body always periodic. So here viscous damping, in viscous damping motion may be periodic or non-periodic. Third differentiating point, student. So amplitude, decay in the amplitude or decrement in the amplitude or decrement in the displacement, exponential. So exponential variation, student. So third point on amplitude. So decrement in the amplitude, exponential variation. So linear variation. So as per Coulomb damping is concerned, amplitude variation. So our amplitude decays linearly with respect to time. Here in viscous damping, amplitude decay in an exponential manner. Now next point. So as per viscous damping is concerned, it takes infinite time to come to its rest as per underdamped system is concerned. It may take infinite time to come to its initial position or to come to its infinite time to come to its initial position or equilibrium position. So in Coulomb damping, it takes finite time. So to attain the equilibrium position or to attain the static equilibrium position as per viscous damping is concerned, time taken may be prolonged or infinite. As per Coulomb damping, time is finite. Next different, that is mass always stop at static equilibrium position, that is a CP. Static equilibrium position is nothing but the fixed position or mean position, you can say that. So mass always stops at static equilibrium position. Now see, student, as per Coulomb damping is concerned, it never stops stops at ACP, our position will be altered. That is, the static equilibrium position will be altered. Okay, so mass never stops at ACP. That will be case in Coulomb damping. Next, student, here as mass stops at static equilibrium position, so mass always oscillates, or mass has a vibration with respect to static equilibrium position. So mass has a oscillation, or you can say that vibration with respect to static equilibrium position. So mass has a movement with respect to static equilibrium position. So here mass has a shifted, you can say that shifted static equilibrium position, shifted static equilibrium position, ACP. So next point, student, point number 7, you can say that. So amplitude decrement or x1 by x2 as per Coulomb viscous damping is concerned, that is x1 by x2 is constant, that is ratio of x1 by x2 is constant. So that is amplitude are in geometric progression, you can say that. Geometric progression, that is amplitude, successive amplitude are in a geometric progression. Now as per Coulomb damping is concerned, x0 so that is decrement in the amplitude, or x1, let next amplitude, let x0 is the initial amplitude, x0 minus delta. So delta is the decrement in the amplitude. For next cycle, x2 is equal to x0 minus 2 delta. For next cycle, x3 is equal to x0 minus 3 delta. So variation of decay in the amplitude, student, arithmetic progression. So I think you are familiar about the geometric progression and arithmetic progression. So I will not go into the statics. Okay, what is geometric progression, what is arithmetic progression? So difference in the amplitude, arithmetic progression, ratio of the amplitude, geometric progression. Okay, just you can go into detail, okay, of geometric and arithmetic progression, and you can do the analysis. Next, differentiating points in viscous damping, WD, relation between WD and WN. WD, that is damped frequency, always less than that of the WN, but that is frequency in Coulomb damping is equal to natural frequency. So calculation of WD, so we already discussed Wn into 1 minus epsilon square. So last point, differentiating point. So during viscous damping there will be dissipation of energy, there will be the dissipation of energy to overcome the fluid friction, So in a viscous damping there will be energy dissipation to overcome the fluid friction. So here energy dissipation due to the contact friction or sliding friction, you can say that. Due to sliding friction between two solids. So student, the sufficient differentiating point you have analyzed as per Coulomb and viscous damping are concerned. So after discussion of Coulomb damping, so last content in damped vibration is equivalent system. So that study of equivalent system, so if I want to draw the mathematical model of any vibrating system, and suppose in that system more than one damper, more than one spring, then effect of this combined damper or effect of this combined spring you must have to consider, that is you must have to calculate the equivalent damping coefficient and equivalent stiffness, then only you can proceed the next step of vibration analysis. So study of equivalent system. So first, suppose in a longitudinal vibration I will consider, so longitudinal vibration, so simple spring mass and dashpot system I am drawing. Student, we are discussing equivalent system, that is conversion of, so motto of equivalent system is the conversion of multi-mass, multi-spring and multi-damper system into the equivalent mass, equivalent spring and equivalent damper system. So there are certain masses in a vibratory system, then I will convert that masses into M equivalent. Let 4 masses, so M equivalent. So let M equivalent for 4 masses, so possibility of M equivalent M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4. So that 4 masses I have converted into the equivalent mass, student. Okay. So first x coordinate system, that is a case of longitudinal vibration I am considering, student. So conversion of multi-mass into equivalent mass. Then K equivalent. Suppose, student, in a system there are more than one spring at same mass I have considered. So student, so 5 spring having equivalent stiffness K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, that is K1 to K5. Okay. So combined equivalent stiffness, only one spring I must have to consider. So conversion of multi-spring into single spring. So equivalent stiffness for that converted equivalent spring is K equivalent. So K equivalent for this multi-spring system I have calculated. Same case, student, with the damper. Let's see equivalent. So student, suppose more than one damper, this is mass, again one more damper is attached, so two dampers, so only one damper you must have to consider having damping coefficient C equivalent. So understand student? So during vibration analysis, multi-spring, multi-mass and multi-damper system is converted into single mass, single spring and single damper. So corresponding important parameter, that is calculation of C equivalent is important, calculation of K equivalent is important, calculation of M equivalent is important. So right student, understand what is the equivalent system, that is conversion of multi-mass, multi-spring and multi-damper system into single mass, single spring and single damper system. And for that single mass, single damper and single spring system corresponding equivalent parameters we are calculating, that is C equivalent, K equivalent and M equivalent. So student, first x coordinate system, that is for example let M equivalent, K equivalent student, and C equivalent. A simple equivalent system. Now equation of motion for x coordinate system x, so that will be M equivalent into x double dot, same, x is the displacement, Vm I have replaced by M equivalent, so M equivalent x double dot C, so C equivalent x dot, C equivalent x dot and plus K equivalent into x. So our aim is to calculate M equivalent, C equivalent and K equivalent. Okay, equation of motion for equivalent system. So student, in addition to kinetic energy of a system, potential energy of a system, so kinetic energy of this system, student, 1/2 M equivalent into x dot square. Okay, we already discussed 1/2 M x dot square is the Ke. Similarly, potential energy 1/2 Kx square. So M and K we will replace by M equivalent and K equivalent. In a damped vibration, along with kinetic energy and potential energy, so one more term you must have to consider, that is the energy dissipation. So when there is a restriction to the motion, okay, so energy dissipated in a system will be, so I will not go in detail, okay, just expression how to calculate the energy dissipation. So just energy dissipation, negative sign because energy is rejected, okay, by a system. So minus sign for energy dissipation, there will not be addition in the energy, there will be the dissipation. So C equivalent, how to calculate the energy dissipation, C equivalent, that is integration of C equivalent into x dot, x dot is the velocity of damper, into dx. So C equivalent, that is C is the damping coefficient, x dot is the velocity of damper, and dx is the deflection of damper, you can say that. So energy dissipation you must have to calculate to analyze equivalent system, okay, spring, mass and dashpot system. So this is a case of x coordinate or for longitudinal vibration. What will be the case for angular vibration or theta coordinate system? Suppose there is the angular vibration, then instead of x coordinate, that is there will not be a linear displacement, angular displacement. So theta coordinate system you must have to consider. So simple model, okay. So for theta coordinate system I am drawing. So this is the damper, okay. Damper, then spring, so K will be replaced by KT equivalent, student, okay. Remember, K will be replaced by KT equivalent. So C will be replaced by, that is CT equivalent, student. C will be replaced by CT equivalent, K will be replaced by KT equivalent, because theta coordinate system or angular vibration. Similarly, M will be replaced by I or I equivalent. So student, M replaced by I, that is M equivalent by I equivalent, K equivalent by KT equivalent, C equivalent by CT equivalent. So theta coordinate system. So kinetic energy, how will you calculate the kinetic energy? 1/2. So M is replaced by I, let I equivalent. So I into I equivalent into theta dot square, x is replaced by theta dot. So P, how you will calculate, student? Potential energy of system. Same, 1/2. K is replaced by KT, x is replaced by theta square, right, student? So ED of damping as per theta coordinate system is concerned. So it will be, student, minus C will be replaced by CT equivalent, right? It is CT equivalent into x dot is replaced by theta dot, dx is replaced by d theta. So in a damped vibration, problem on viscous damping, problem on Coulomb damping, problem on, that is third category, problem may be asked on equivalent system. So in these three category, two types of problem as per viscous damping is concerned. Generally one category, problem on underdamped system, problem on critical damped system. Coulomb damping, straightforward problem, and equivalent system. So if you know the basics of undamped free vibration, that analysis you can employ for equivalent system analysis. So remember, student, in damped vibration, three category of problem. So first category on viscous damping, second category on Coulomb damping, third category, that is problem may be asked on third category, that is equivalent system. So thank you.